I know what you're thinking. How the heck does a 52-year-old, over-the-hill milkshake machine salesman build a fast food empire with 1,600 restaurants and an annual revenue of $700 million? One word: persistence.
Prince Castle Sales.
Hi, Jim.
Ray, how's it going down there?
Good. Swell. A lot of interest.
We got an order. 6 mixers.
To anyone in particular?
McDonald's.
Care for a little tour? We wanted something different, and that's when my brother here comes up with one of his brilliant ideas.
Orders ready in 30 seconds, not 30 minutes.
Unique, original. There's nothing like this.
It's revolutionary.
It's exactly what it is. It's revolutionary. What is that?
The Golden Arches.
It's a way to make the place stand out.
Huh. There should be McDonald's everywhere. Franchise the damn thing.
Mr. Kroc.
Franchise, franchise, franchise. McDonald's can be the new American church. And it ain't just open on Sundays, boys.
I am flesh and I am bone. Rise up, ting ting like glitter and gold.
How can we be almost out of capital?
Did you mortgage our home? We could lose everything.
I want to renegotiate my lousy deal.
I can't.
Can't or won't?
Ray.
What?
No!
Oh, damn it.
What you ought to be doing is owning the land upon which that burger is cooked. You're not in the burger business. You're in the real estate business.
Franchise Realty Corporation.
It's its own separate company, which puts it outside your purview.
There's a wolf in the hen house. We let him in.
When's enough gonna be enough for you?
Probably never.
You are to stop this instant.
I'm through taking orders from you.
You have a contract.
Contracts are like hearts. They're made to be broken.
I am flesh and I am bone. Ting ting like glitter and gold.
Business is war. It's dog eat dog, rat eat rat. I want to take the future. I want to win. The brothers are your business partners. Make it go away. I don't care what it takes. That glorious name, McDonald's. I had to have it.
You don't have it.
You sure about that?
I'm going to show you how McDonald's builds a Big Mac sandwich. It starts here with a lightly toasted bun. And then a pure beef hamburger. Sizzling hot. A slice of cheddar blend cheese. And some crisp, fresh lettuce. Then, our own secret sauce. The club slice, toasted. Another hamburger. And a little more sauce just for good flavor. Crisp dill pickles and the sesame seed crown. This is the sandwich. McDonald's new Big Mac sandwich for the bigger than average appetite. McDonald's is your kind of place.
Here I am at McDonald's, getting ready to try the new Grand Mac that just released. And what's also very cool is that I just got out of the movie The Founder, which was a 2-hour commercial about McDonald's. But it was actually quite informative. So Michael Keaton stars as Ray Kroc. And as far as I always knew, he was the founder of McDonald's. I had no idea. It turns out that McDonald's was actually created by a couple of brothers named Mac McDonald and Dick McDonald, and they started their company in 1940, and it became very, very popular. And it was a drive-in. Because back in those days, drive-ins were popular. In fact, I think that's all you had. And Ray Kroc at the time was a milkshake salesman, but he wasn't a successful one. Around the country selling his milkshakes, and people were telling him no, they were refusing him. So he gets this call from the McDonald's brothers out in San Bernardino, California, that they want 6 of his mixers. He thought that was a mistake. So he went down there personally to check it out. And it turns out that that location was extremely busy. There was people everywhere. And so Ray he fell in love with the place. He decided he wanted to be a part of it. And so what he ended up doing was he went into business with the McDonald's brothers, but he didn't spend a whole lot of time with them. He shadowed them at first. He observed their business practices, and then he went across the country, and at first he was only talking to his blue-blooded friends, his golf course chums, but he found out that they weren't interested in maintaining the high standards and quality that the McDonald's brothers believed in. So he ended up franchising to more hardworking people, not as rich, Americans who want to work for themselves and they have a desire to succeed just like he did. And so, little by little, the McDonald's Corporation began under Ray Kroc's name. He was the one going around saying that he was the founder of McDonald's. So over time, the McDonald's brothers were marginalized until a point where nobody even knew they existed, really, which really pissed them off. I mean, they were the brains behind the operation. But it was a really good movie. I liked it. It's really interesting to learn about Ray Kroc. That he was kind of even though he was driven and successful and ambitious, he was kind of a jerk. He screwed people over. He screwed over the McDonald's brothers, took advantage of them, took credit for everything they did. He made all the money. In the end, the McDonald's brothers ended up relatively poor. They were cut out of all the merchandising. All the royalties that they should have got from each franchise that opened up, all the sales. Well, anyway, that brings us. Let me talk more about the movie. There was more about it that I liked or didn't like, but it was all good. It was just Ray Kroc was a miserable bastard, really. He was married, and he just up and decided that he didn't like his wife anymore, so he divorced her. Ended up going for this younger girl who was married to someone else. So he basically broke up a marriage in order to get her. But yeah, Ray Kroc, he lived for a long time, and I think he died in 1984, and he owned a baseball team. So he did pretty well. But the poor McDonald's brothers, unfortunately, they were left out of it. This should have been their empire. So it was a very interesting movie. And so, but today we're here to talk about the Grand Mac. McDonald's recently unveiled 2 versions of their Big Mac. They have a smaller version of it and a larger version. And I think they call the smaller one the Mac Jr. This, of course, is the Grand Mac. We're going to find out how it compares to the Big Mac here in just a second. From what I remember about the Big Mac sandwich, it was introduced in 1968. And let's see. And the person who invented it, I forget his name, but He died last year, actually. He lived to be about 98 years old. Which isn't too shabby if you're living on a steady diet of Big Macs. That's good. So here we have the Grand Mac. And it's just a... Oh, you're already halfway through it. I was going to do a comparison. Oh well.
No, I'm not going to wait. It's cold.
You can't really tell just by me holding it, but
It's bigger.
it is a bigger sandwich. Now, they say that both the patties combined accounts for 1/3 of ground beef. And it looks like there's a lot of shredded lettuce on here. Let's go in for a bite, shall we? Well, it's pretty good. It tastes like a Grand Mac, like a Big Mac. But it seems like there's not as much special sauce on it. It's actually kind of dry. But still pretty tasty. Their jingle, it was 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, oh, man, maybe I should do that one again. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, on a sesame seed bun. And there you have it.
Is there still 2 patties
Yep,
and some 3 buns?
that's right.
What's different? Bigger.
It's just bigger. That's all. So basically, it's just a bigger sandwich.
I remember those old cars when I was a kid. They weren't old then.
Oh yeah, for my mom, this movie was a trip down memory lane. It took place in 1954.
I was a year old. I don't remember any of that. I have to go back to 1958. 59.
But you had a different time back then, that's for sure. Drive-in restaurants. And apparently at the time, this was addressed in the movie, that the reason drive-ins faded in popularity is because it took a long time to get your food, and so a lot of the times the order was wrong. So McDonald's fixed that. They're credited as being the very first fast food restaurant.
Well, now it's about just driving up and getting your food and taking it somewhere.
Yeah.
That's why their cafe inside is smaller.
The drive-through, yeah. Like the McDonald's we're in right now. Years ago, it was a lot bigger. So it seems like the emphasis is not on sitting down and eating, but getting out of here.
But people still don't have to get out of their cars.
Yeah, they got the drive-through.
Yeah, it's a very extremely lazy civilization in the United States now. Now you can get that little computer thing, and it'll, when you come home, it'll turn your lights on for you, turn your TV on, turn your heat. You don't have to walk over to do anything. Pretty soon you'll probably drive up from your car to your front door. You won't walk at all. Just like that song.
Yeah.
So, I can't believe it would be. Yeah.
Well, I recommend going out and seeing the founder. I mean, it's an interesting story about how McDonald's came to be. And so McDonald's is actually the #1 fast food. They make the most money. But I also want to say that in the beginning, McDonald's reminded me of In-N-Out. You know, the way they were set up, it was just a small outfit. I mean, they had the main store in San Bernardino, and they had a couple stores close by that were closely managed by the McDonald's brothers. But the paper hats, the uniform, the white shirts, the military efficiency of the crew, it was just all so. That's just what In-N-Out does. It's funny that, see, In-N-Out was always afraid that if they expanded, that they would lose all that. The quality would go out the window, and that their brand would suffer. But that doesn't appear to be the case. Well, I don't know. McDonald's has its up and downs. I think right now they're trying to stay in the black here by creating new products.
Yeah. All the stuff he said he didn't want. Like fried chicken. You get fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
A sandwich. Fried buttermilk fried chicken sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I will. I might. Be part of it, take it home. I think I will.
That reminds me, the original McDonald's, they sold hot dogs. And then they also sold brisket, chicken. Then they decided, well, these things aren't really selling that well. Let's focus on what is. And they decided that hamburgers, French fries, and soft drinks were their main sellers. That's what they focused on. Man, they were really smart. Ray Kroc was just like a pirate. He stole a good idea, passed it off as his own, and he used his silver tongue to convince people to help him. In the end, he had help from real estate agents, bankers. A lot of people got involved to help him pull it off. He even mortgaged his house. Yeah, it's too bad. Ray Kroc was, I mean, he was a ruthless businessman, but I don't like the way he just dumped his wife for no reason. Just because he found someone else more attractive.
Yeah, I said, just like McDonald's when he thought he had to make it his.
That's right.
So he decided that with her too. And she liked him. She liked that. About him. Go figure. Don't go figure.
Well. Oh yeah, before I forget, do you want to know how much it costs? It's $7.49. And that gets you a Grand Mac, a medium fry, and a medium drink that's refillable. So that's not too bad. My mom's sitting across the table from me. She didn't want to be in the video. So, but she had a Big Mac. Unfortunately, she ate her hamburger before I could film it. But there's a size difference. Wow. Of the boxes, anyway.
It's good that McDonald's feeds, what, 1% of the world's population?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all over the world with people that go hungry.
That's a fact. Look, McDonald's feeds 1% of the world's population. And about probably 90% of America's population. Another fact I remember is that McDonald's Corporation, I guess, is the world's largest landowner. They own the most property. And they figured that out a long time ago. That they need to own the land that they franchise to make the most profit. And that's another reason Ray Kroc became so wealthy. And he was able to take away control of the company away from the McDonald's brothers.
In other words, the United States is the same place that the immigrants left 200 years ago.
It would seem that way.
Well, if you can't, they couldn't sue him because he had all that money. He could tie it up in court and they would be buried with court fees. So there's no freedom there. He's just like a king.
That's right. The McDonald's brothers, in the end, they couldn't even keep their own restaurant. They couldn't call it McDonald's anymore because Ray Kroc, he copyrighted the name, and or he patented the name, however you say it. And then so they changed the name of the company to the Big M.
So the moral of the story is, dog eat dog.
And apparently,
rat eat rat.
Yeah, that's a quote from the film.
It's still a rat eat rat and dog eat dog world. And those that clever enough and crafty enough can get all the power and all the money.
Yeah.
They don't even, the good thing is they don't have to use weapons. He didn't have to kill the guys. Knock him off. I thought his wife would kill him. I thought she might. I'm surprised she didn't kill him because I want a divorce. After everything she did for him, he stayed with him, loyal to him, believed in him, and supported him. He was never there. He's always out trying to make his dreams come true. Oh, one good point he made: persistence. Determination and persistence. He kept trying. And he finally won.
Should have sat on this side. That would have been awesome. It's all right. Yes, in the very beginning of the film, Ray Kroc was listening to a record of a motivational speaker, and he was giving a speech about how to succeed in life. And he was saying that being a genius it's not entirely that. And there was something else he mentioned.
Educated fools?
Yeah, that's right. He said that persistence was the key.
Determination.
And determination.
Yeah. And he just kept trying and trying.
That's right. Ray Kroc was very persistent.
Like a bulldog with a bone. He didn't give up. It's probably obsessive. Yeah. I couldn't get into business because when they were talking all that legal talk and all that business talk, my brain just goes, done for now.
Same here.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
I'm just like, what? Wow, there's a lot to know. And it's not that interesting. Only to people that are...
But yeah, I was waiting for this Grand Mac to come out since November. That's when McDonald's started putting out advertising.
It's only 2 months.
Online.
It's like a year.
Yeah. I guess it's only going to be around for a limited time.
Oh.
Unless, of course, really people love it. I guess that's the Big Mac. And it went through some name revisions. Originally, it was called the Aristocrat.
I didn't know that.
And then, but they stopped calling it that because nobody understood what that meant. And what was it also called? I should have had notes.
Hi.
The Blue Ribbon Burger.
Oh.
Yeah, but I guess that was just too much. So the Big Mac was simple. And it caught on quickly.
Big Mac came to Medford, I think it was 1972. Does that sound right? Or 1971?
Well, the company
right
rolled out in 1968.
No, I mean here. Came to Medford. We didn't have McDonald's.
Oh, the restaurant itself?
Yeah, see, I wanted one because up in Seattle, I visited my grandmother when I was a teenager in 20. And
Well, as you might recall, I wasn't here in 1972, so I don't know.
no, but I thought you might have found out when it opened in Medford. We didn't have
I couldn't find it.
McDonald's. They had it up in Seattle, of course, right not too far from where my grandmother lived. And McDonald's, but they had delicious French fries, better than I'd ever tasted ever up there. Big Mac. So I wanted McDonald's to come to Medford just for the French fries.
So, McDonald's, even though the first franchise, because of Ray Kroc, was created in 1954, it didn't arrive in Medford until sometime in the 1970s.
Yeah, because I could have went to work there. I paid more than where I was working. Years ago. Well, Medford, their fast food that were the young people, teenagers and young people went was Jack's Drive Up right in the middle of town.
Alright folks, that was McDonald's Grand Mac. It was delicious. I couldn't find anything wrong with it. It tastes like a Big Mac, only bigger. And so, maybe that's what they used to look like actually. That might have been the Big Mac, the size of it. All I know is that the Big Mac in its current form is not the size it was in 1968. So the Big Mac has shrunk a little bit.
Yeah.
So anyway, I highly recommend you go out and watch The Founder. It is an awesome movie. Michael Keaton's performance as Ray Kroc is very impressive. I mean, you'll wind up hating him. I'm telling you, you'll hate his guts by the time the credits roll. You just think, what a bastard. But, you know,
That's how you look at it.
only in America. You know,
American dream.
that's right.
Get your own business. Your franchise.
Yeah.
But it depends how you look at it. If you want to be a go-getter like that, with success that way, or if you're more laid back and just have a comfortable life with friends. I don't know if he had friends. Right,
Right now.
we had, fake friends. But he did end up with that woman.
Anyway, goodbye, folks.